Bonjour! It has been a while since I've done a garden update, but I figure I'll get you up to speed on everything. First of all, grapefruit tree is pretty much dead. Well, clinically dead, but still alive technically. Lemon tree, you can guess what its fate was to the snow. Oh, and here is the thing that I'm most excited about right now, and the thing that I'm most meticulously playing around with. This is my banana plant, and it doubled in size in between now and the last garden update. So, yeah, I think this thing might actually produce this year, which I'm not going to jinx it yet. I'm still cautious with my optimism, but I'm pretty optimistic as it is growing like insanity. And that might be because of my increased fertilization, because of the fact that I don't have compost. But it works. Nonetheless. More tomatoes right here. Sweet peas are dying back because, beans and peas don't do good when it gets to extreme heat. I'm just hoping they produce more flowers so I can get more seeds. That's the only reason I'm keeping them around. These are my cucumbers. I've gotten a few cucumbers off of them, but I neglected on watering them for like a week. And so they started like dying back because I was very badly watering them. But now I'm coming back and watering them every single day. So they're making a comeback and actually producing some of the first straight cucumbers I've had in a while. And yeah, you could see how messed up the watering was, which is how weird some of these cucumbers look, but they're back up to speed. And I will keep them alive as long as I can, until I eventually, inevitably, need to replace them, because that's how cucumber plants work. They'll produce a few cucumbers, and then they'll decline slowly as they produce more and more, because there is nothing we can do Napoleon moment, as they realize that they can't reproduce because some giant ape on like 2 legs is eating their fruit. So fun. This is a loofah gourd vine that I didn't want with the others. I'm probably going to end up giving this away. So fun. We love giving gifts to others. So yippee. More tomato plant cuttings I'm nursing up. The oregano's going to flowers, so I can't wait to see what that looks like. Green onion seeds right here. And alright, now let's get back to the actually fun stuff. Over here, everything's doing amazing. I mean, look at those blackberry leaves. These are just huge, like the size of my hand. And the blackberries are starting to ripen, though I know it's not going to be their peak production year because, I mean, just look at them. Only a few of the berries have been pollinated. But as they grow bigger and bigger, I have a feeling they'll just get better and better and juicier and sweeter and bigger and better. You know the buzzwords we like to throw around like it's Amazon. Here's the fig. Oh my god, I almost lost my balance and fell as I crouched down. Here's the fig tree. This is one of my personal favorites because I need to do absolutely nothing to it. And as you can see, ever since I asked my father to stop weed whacking around here, it has been growing some new branches from the bottom. And I'm sure soon enough, we will have an amazing sprawling fig tree that will be either sprawling across the ground or the air. But we don't care, as long as it fills in this area. All right, now let's take a trip all the way across the yard to the peppers. Last time I showed you these things, I'm pretty sure they were declining because of a lack of fertilizer and just in general, a bit of meh husbandry. But they have made a comeback this month. Look at this. Some of them might not be the best because they were just transplanted in, but the shishito peppers are cranking. along with the sweet peppers. They're doing amazing too. And, oh, that might be the first one we got ripening there, though something bored into it. Oh well, I can just take that pepper off and use it on pizza or something. Doesn't matter. This is carrot that I planted a long time ago in here. As you can see, it's declining reasonably. I don't think I should have planted carrots in here. Right here, we got bell pepper plants, which are actually doing amazing. These are the ones I got from the store, but we'll come up on some of the ones that I didn't get from the store. Banana peppers. These are the ones that I didn't get from the store. This is obviously a bell pepper plant. This is a jalapeno plant, which we got our first jalapeno growing. How cute. That is a super spicy pepper plant that I'm raising up from seed, and I need to weed through this bed so badly once I get out of school. Oh my god. Fun. I got an eggplant here, which is kind of suffering. I need to tie that thing up. I've been putting it off for so long. Why haven't I? How did it take me this long to figure out how much it? My bad, chat. Anyways. Here, I'm pretty sure we have what is a peppercini plant, because it matches none of the other peppers I've grown so far in its growth habits. It seems to be bushing out instead of keeping a single stem then bushing out, like most of these basic normie peppers. It wants to be different and cool, respectfully. But at the same time, it's trying too hard. My squash are an interesting double-edged sword. On the one hand, they're doing pretty good. I'm starting to crank out some decent squash, though some of them are getting improperly pollinated, and sigh, I wish I was here to pollinate them in the morning. But I've been busy at work and school, etc. And also, I've been procrastinating because of burnout, etc. Fun! Though, trust me, a new Cooking Food for Idiots episode will come out sometime after I get out of school. Alright, that goes into the plant scraps pile. Here is my best Roma tomatoes. Look at these things. These absolute behemoths. I don't care. I don't know what's in that hole. And nor do I care. As long as the rest of the tomato is fine, I'm cool. Because look at the state of these things. Those are some huge Roma tomato plants. It might actually be the Gladiator hybrid I got instead of normal Roma tomatoes, because oh my god. And these plants are healthy and stable too. Of course, now that I've gotten metal trellises, I've accidentally cut off the top of some of these plants, because, you know, I've been trying to wrap them around the vine, and the vine gets too sturdy too quickly for me to do that, so I underestimate or overestimate how bendy the vine is, and then snip! But it's fine, a side shoot can take its place, which is my plan. I plan to have this entire stalk produce all the way up to here, keep on topping it off, and let one side shoot down here grow up as a new tomato leader, basically. And repeat the process and cut down this stalk. Basically making the most of these tomato plants while they're still alive, while at the same time preserving the same hardy tomato plants. So basically, I don't have to raise up new ones, I just need to raise up new leader stems. It's a convoluted plan, and I'm sure I explained that so badly, but who cares? You'll see what I'm talking about in like a month or two, once these actually get too big. I think this is a golden tomato of some sorts that's like cherry. That's just a theory, though. A game theory. But these are my cherry tomatoes. I love them, because you can literally just come out here every morning and boop, bloop, bloop. Nah. Here, We've got my squash. The zucchini have especially been suffering from vine borer attacks, even though they have the most nasturtium planted near them. Have to wonder if the onions actually deter vine borers more. Might need to experiment with that more. Here, we've got our first cantaloupe coming in, so that's cool. I'm restricting the watermelons for now, because I want them to grow big, beautiful vines instead of fruit for now, because onions are still in here. And I have a feeling that the onions are taking nutrients and competing with the watermelons, but I still want to harvest from the onions. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But it's for the best, and I'll just have to let them produce near the end of June, or let them start producing near like the end of this month, as onions will thicken up as whatever increases. I forgot. The day length increases. There we go. Here we got some more cherry tomato plants. Sun gold, of course, because it's an amazing variety. Why would you not grow it? It's really disease resistant and just amazing. And here we've got all these stalks. Sometimes I accidentally knock off cherries, but it's okay. Here we've got some more tomatoes. I think this is one type of beefsteak. I'm unsure though. We'll have to see with time. We've got another type of beefsteak and another type of beefsteak. Then we got this suffering Roma tomato plant, which I have a theory. And it could also explain why these are suffering, but the hardy marigolds are not. So basically, before these were planted in here, I had Brussels sprouts and cauliflower in those beds. So basically my theory is that since they're both heavy feeder plants that I had planted in there before, they had a lot of root mass, unlike the lettuce that was planted in here before. So they took up a lot of the nutrients in that bed, thus developing expansive root systems, and the root systems aren't able to break down quick enough for the tomatoes that are in here. So the tomatoes kind of had to do the rest of the work breaking down the roots, thus taking a toll on how healthy the plants are actually. But as we go further and further, the more the roots break down, thus causing some of this more later on foliage to be healthier. My theory though. These are pretty. Nasturtiums. Anyways, now we got the beans and okra bed. As I said, beans and peas will suffer now, but the okra will do fine. I just need to get rid of these beans and hack them down probably. Of course, leaving some of the roots in there because, you know, beans leave nitrogen in the soil, and that could be really useful for this okra, which will probably feed off of it. That's just a theory. Of course. Blueberries are coming to the end of their production season. Most of the blueberries got snatched up by birds while they're even producing. So, fun. Pay respect for the blueberries. Here, the Satsuma and Blood Orange tree are doing pretty decent, though. We're going to repot them soon because they will not survive in the summer if we don't. Also, they'll be restricted to that pot, which is way too small long term. Strawberries are doing good, though I should probably water them, which I'll do after this video. And how they look contradicts the saying that they're good, but trust me, they'll perk right back up once I water. And they're producing some decent berries. But I know as these get older, these will produce bigger, better, and healthier berries. So that's about it. Unless I want to show you the hydrangeas, which also that's a beautiful sunset. Look at them. They look gorgeous. Just look at these. They're like clouds of non-edible flowers. So pretty. Hold up. Don't leave just yet. I forgot to show one more thing. This corner. So, comparatively to this banana plant, guess who's winning the race so far? Yeah, it's quite obvious. But, nonetheless, I still want to show. This is my grand name banana, aka the banana that will actually get tall. Here, in this corner, is kind of just a mess right now, because I should have gotten rid of the celery earlier, and if I did, I would have been able to plant a more proper onion and garlic patch, and not have it choked out by the celery. So, I've learned a lesson this year. Get everything out of this bed as soon as you can to plant onions and garlic. Well, just garlic. But still onions. Well, not just garlic. Garlic you should be planting like months in advance than how much I did this year. But still, get your garlic and onions in quick. Here, we have a new invasion beginning. I saved some seeds from the loofah gourds last year. It's funny. These are the descendants, which hypothetically should be a bit better than their predecessors. Hypothetically speaking, since their predecessors went through the climate of my place and have adapted to it. Therefore, meaning these should hypothetically be a bit more adapted to it, but I don't know. I'm just making shit up to say about this, but pretty much, this is a plum tree. It's kind of growing here for now, because I have no other place to put it, but it works. The new loofah gourd invasion has started, and here we have this one vine climbing up the fence. Just give it a month. You'll see what beautiful things happen with these 3 vines. Yes, there's 3 in here. As if one wasn't enough last year. Now I have 3. I can't wait to get humbled so quickly by these vines. I can already see it coming. But it will be fun. It will be fun trying to maintain it around the pool equipment to make sure, it doesn't choke out the pipes or something. So yippee!